unearned compensation. Hey, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so if the stock is not restricted, it's unrestricted, it means that the stock is
Ah, yeah, uh-huh.
means the stock is like sort of like they're allowed to purchase
Oh, yeah. Go on.
they're allowed to purchase the stock in the future if they stay during the vesting period. Um,
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
and they could purchase it at the striker price. Is that correct?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, even with that interesting phrasing.
I am pretty sure you meant the strike price, right?
Exactly, that fixed price they get to lock in at the very beginning.
But
Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
But with restricted stock, it's like they're given the stock. They don't have to buy it, but they're not going to receive the stock until the end of the vesting period. Is that correct?
You've absolutely got the right idea, even if the phrasing's a bit tricky.
yeah, it's like being handed a gift that you aren't allowed to unwrap yet.
Exactly. Unlike those options we talked about, the employee doesn't have to buy anything.
There is no strike price or a crash payment coming from their pocket.
They are simply given the shares as a reward for their future service.
But you're right, they don't truly own them fully until that period is over.
Legally, the shares are issued on day one, which is why we credit common stock.
But that unearned compensation account we mentioned acts as a giant roadblock.
It sits there as a counter-equity account, essentially canceling out the value.
Think of it as a negative balance in the company's equity jar.
Then, as the employee completes each year of work, they earn a slice.
Like in our example, we moved $10,000 into expense every single year.
This identifies the total compensation the company recognizes over the 5-year period.
It's like the company. Yep, go on.
So how would you generalize this?
Oh, I bet you mean how we would journalize this restricted stock deal, right?
Exactly. It is that moment where the invisible promise finally hits the official paper.
Okay, let's unpack this. On day one, the grant date, we record the whole 50,000.
We debit an account called Unearned Compensation for that full $50,000.
Then we have to show that the shares were technically issued.
Right, we credit common stock for the par value, which is $2,000.
And we credit additional paid-in capital for the rest, which is 48,000.
What is fascinating here is how that unearned compensation bucket acts as our roadblock.
It stays there as a negative balance until the manager actually works.
Then, at the end of year one, we record the first slice of their service.
We debit compensation expense for $10,000.
And we credit unearned compensation to chip away at that initial $50,000.
So the company is slowly paying for that employee's labor using those shares.
But here's where it gets really interesting. What if the manager leaves on year 3?
Well, then we have to hit the undo button on those records.
Exactly. We reverse the common stock and the additional capital accounts completely.
And we even reverse the compensation expense we recorded for the 2 years they worked.
It effectively wipes the slate clean since they didn't finish the 5-year service period.
So that invisible promise of ownership only becomes real if they stick around.
It really shows how these accounting rules keep everyone honest about the deal.
This has been such an... Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
So because like they have a credit of compensation, but they so then
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
so then what happens if they stay for the full 5 years of the vesting period?
That is the dream scenario for the employee and the company.
If they stay the full 5 years, the process we started just keeps rolling.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, but they don't receive any compensation until the end of the vesting period. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
So does it become compensation expense payable? Or compensation payable?
Oh, go for it.
Or is it compensation payable?
That is a very logical way to think about it. Most people expect a payable for unpaid work.
That's a great instinct, but in this specific world of stock-based pay, We actually avoid the liability side.
Right. Since the company is paying with its own shares instead of cash, it stays in equity.
Exactly. Instead of a compensation payable liability, we use those equity placeholders we talked about earlier.
So for restricted stock, that process we started just keeps rolling every single year.
Precisely. The company keeps debiting compensation expense for $10,000 to show the cost of labor.
And instead of a payable, they keep crediting that unearned. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So at the end of the I see. So at the end of the 5 years, then all of the unearned compensation is paid out with compensation expense.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
But they don't even receive the compensation expense until the end of the vesting period.
Okay, let's unpack that because you're touching on a really important timing issue.
It's a common point of confusion, but remember, the expense isn't for the employee's bank account.
Right. The compensation expense is for the company's internal books to track the cost of labor.
What's fascinating here is, yeah.
So then, what's the journal entry for when the employee receives a 50,000 compensation payable, compensation expense?
What is fascinating here is that the journal entry is actually a slow motion process over several years.
Yeah, that $50,000 compensation expense isn't recorded in one big burst at the end.
If we look at the numbers, the company records a $10,000 slice every single year.
So, okay, let's unpack this. The actual entry is a debit to compensation expense for $10,000.
And then we credit unearned compensation for that same $10,000.
We do that same dance 5 times until the unearned bucket is totally empty.
Oh yeah, go on.
So then, though, what happens? Do they receive the stock? Like, that's what it comes out of, right? They receive stock.
That is exactly what we were just getting to, and it is the most exciting part.
Once that unearned compensation bucket is totally empty after 5 years, the restriction just evaporates.
So to answer your question, they don't actually receive new shares at the very end.
Right, because remember, the company actually issued those shares and credited common stock on day 1.
Exactly. Those shares have been sitting in that restricted waiting room the whole time.
Once the service period is over, the company doesn't need to make another big journal entry.
The roadblock is gone, and those shares are now officially, legally, and fully theirs to keep.
It matches the cost of the labor to the time frame, just like we discussed earlier.
It is really cool how the accounting handles that transition without needing more cash.
By the time we hit the end of year 5, the $50,000 roadblock is gone.
The balance in that contra equity account hits 0, and the ownership is finally unrestricted.
This highlights how these rules ensure a company's financial health is reported